Kroger Delivery has one mission: to save you time.
All right, Shalom to the elect of Israel, to the hopeful elect of Israel, you Hebrew Israelites, you so-called Negro, Latinos, Native American, West Indian, Haitians, and the foreign Israelites that are scattered across the four corners of the earth. Gotta give all praise to Barak, Yahawah, Barak, Yahawashi, Barak, Yahawah, Barak, Yahawashi. Gotta give all praises to Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham, Qadash. I want to give double honor to the elders and apostles of great millstone who led us to this truth. Led me to this truth and have been ordained by the Lord to teach the flock how to live, repent, pray, fast, and show forth the Lord's righteousness and mercy, judgment, forgiveness, and wrath to all those who are part of the elect, whomever the hopeful elect, who are part of the hopeful elect, and to the elect, whomever they may be. Lord willing, we be part of that number. Lord willing, to be edifying to those who fear in the name of the Lord and strive to show forth the Lord's righteousness every day to the best of their abilities. Judgment always comes to light. Zephaniah chapter 3, verse 5, and is not slack. 2 Peter chapter 3, verse 9. So I started this video a minute ago, but there was a precept that I had to go back and I had to pray to Yahawashi and Rawchaa to give me that precept, because I was listening to the big bro, and one of the big bros, GMS, and he was really in the spirit. We were all in the spirit listening, and it helped me add on to some things to this lesson. But we're gonna deal with inflation, AI warnings, martial law approaching, train derailments, and various end time topics. The Lord willing is that far into the flock, and we're gonna get to it. And Lord willing, He gives me. There's a couple precepts that I didn't have planned that I written down that the Lord put the Spirit on me to come across. And we're gonna, kind of help edify the lesson that I had today. So let me go back in here, because I was thinking about it and I was like, man, I'm taking too long. I took about 5 minutes trying to remember that precept. And I was like, nah, I'm not going to do that. We want to be quick for y'all because we know y'all got a lot going on the flock. So we're going to go back to this. It says, inflammation promoting civil unrest as prices continue to increase. What exactly is inflation? All citizens understand inflation to be one of those unfortunate circumstances in which generally everything increases, from the prices of a simple candy bar to an increase in gas prices. Inflation has everything to do with it. This certainty affects families. They will need to purchase less of a particular item and make it suffice. Money is very scarce in certain areas. Making ends meet is already a challenge. Therefore, the fact that prices continue to increase certainly is not a good condition to these families. Why? Because we are working, but we're not getting paid more while these things are going up. So inflation is a rise in prices, which can be translated as a decline in purchasing power for over time. And that's what the Lord is causing Esau Edom to be able to do, is break us down over time. And that's what he does. And see, look, that's the Lord is putting the Spirit back on me to bring up the precept that I wanted to bring up. As the days continue to go by, inflation continues to increase. The real question, how much is it increased from 2022 to 2023? Grocery prices nationwide are up by 6.4% compared to this time in 2022, according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics. So that means that every dollar you spend in six and a half more pennies. But after you spend $100,000, so let's say you're spending $10,000 or $20,000, that's a lot of money. Okay, so 6.4% is a big deal. In the Chicago area, prices are about 5.4%. That is a very large amount that has increased only in the past year. Okay, so that's a big deal, And this is the precept that I wanted to bring up about it. Okay, Lord's putting the Spirit on me, be able to remember how to get to this thing. Okay. And then we're going to go to the other precept. Let me get to it. Bear with me. You know, because there's a couple precepts the Lord put the Spirit on me to deal with. Yeah, right here. Yep, this is the one. Okay. So Isaiah, you know, and all of us have that part where we don't, you know, being strong is like basically when you break down, it's that you've been strong for a period amount of time and it's worn out. You know, we all have that moment where, you know, things are tough for us and the Lord will come and give us that strength, Lord willing, you know. But we're gonna go. We're gonna go with Psalm chapter 56 verse 7, and it reads, "Shall they escape by iniquity, and thine anger cast down the people, O Yahawah, which is power? Thou tellest my wanderings. Put thou tears into thy bottom. Are they not in thy book? When I cry unto thee, then shall mine enemies turn back. This I know, for Yahawah, power is with me." So when we go look this up in the NLT, to get a little bit of more understanding, it says, "My enemies will retreat when I call you for help." And that's why it says, resist the devil and he shall flee from you. And he will flee from you if you turn Yahawashi. This I know, Yahawah is on my side. Okay, and then when you read verse 8, it says, "You keep track of all my sorrows. You have collected all my tears in your bottom. You have recorded each one in your book." So the Lord has literally taken track and took hold of all the things that we suffer here in America, Babylon the Great. You know, he knows our struggles. So that's why we don't have to worry. He's going to take care of his elect. Lord willing, be part of that number. But we're going to put on as the image of the elect and hope, you know, that we're part of that number. And what does the hopeful elect, what does the elect do? They don't worry because they know the Lord has got them, you know. And that's how much faith you got to have. You got to have that kind of faith. Now, a lot of people say, well, why do we go through struggles? Why do we go through these things? Well, this is Hebrews chapter 12, verse 10. Just before I even get into my lesson. So, you know, in a way, he did this for our good. It said, for they barely, this is Hebrews chapter 12, verse 10, "For they barely for a few days chasten us after their own pleasure, but he for our profit." See, it's for our profit. This is to help us, that we might be partakers of his holiness. See, this out here, this is for our good. Okay, this is to teach us. This is our correction. We're supposed to learn how to serve Yahawashi. This verse 11, it reads, "Now no chastising for the present seemed to be joyous, but grievous. Nevertheless, afterward yieldeth the peaceable fruit of righteousness unto them which are exercised thereby." See, I want to read this in the NLT too. So it says, and it reads, verse 10, "For our heavenly fathers disciplined us for a few years, doing the best they know how." That's our elders and apostles, great millstone. "But Yahweh's discipline is always good for us." See, he disciplined us to be in prophecy, to be in the truth, to make sure that we're coming across to the flock correctly, you know, to the best of our abilities, so that we might share in his holiness. No discipline is enjoyable while it's happening. It's painful, but afterward it will be a peaceable harvest of right living to those who are trained in this way. See, the Lord's training us. He said, "I will try the third part through the fire." Zechariah chapter 13, verse 9. He will try us in the fire. You see? He's training us to be men of the Lord. You know what I mean? Through going through inflation, going through struggles, going through these things, to learn how to handle these things, okay, with the word. So now we're going to go over here to the word inflation, you know, the inflation promoting civil arrest. because that's what this article was talking about. You see, promoting civil unrest. So now we're going to go back over here. It says civil unrest is on the rise around the world as governments struggle to cope with soaring inflation, according to the new report. Analysts by risk intelligence company Veteris Maplecroft suggest that out of 132 countries analyzed, 62 are likely to see their risk of civil unrest increase over the next two quarters. They didn't say next 2 years, the next 2 quarters of this year. It's going to become way more civil unrest. Okay. And I got a couple more things, and then we're going to deal with some precepts. So right over here, it says France protests, more than 100 police hurt in May Day demonstrations. Watch a little bit of this. Look at that. Got Esau Edom walking over there to that 6G. That's what they're trying to get Jake to do. Walk over there to that 6G and sell his damn soul. Ooh-wee, man. Yeah, what's going on out there? Cars getting set on fire. Look at that. Look at that. You hear me? They still out there tripping about that pension being raised for retirement. They still out there going on. You hear me? Still going on. Mayday World's Workers Rally, France sees pension anger. You know, we've been talking about this for a couple months. You know, there's a lot of dangerous things going on out there. You know what I'm saying? And Jake out there, 2/3 out there, is getting bad. Now we're gonna go to China, barring thousands of citizens and foreigners from leaving country. Okay. Analysis of Chinese court record shows 8-fold increase in cases mentioning exit bans between 2016 and 2022. So they're not even letting people leave. Okay. So we're going to deal with some precepts concerning these articles. Okay. So this is Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 67. And it reads, in the morning thou shalt say, if power, it were even, and at evening it shall say, with power, it were morning. And even is like evening. For the fear of thine heart, wherewith thou shalt fear, and for the sight of thine eyes, which thou shalt see. You know, we're going to see a lot of terrorists come upon this place. But we want to put this in the NLT. In the morning, you will say, if only it were night. Why? Because all the terrorists you see. And in the evening, you will say, if only it were morning. You will be terrified by the awful horrors you see around you. And that's what it's going to be like towards Jacob's trouble. It's going to be total chaos all day. Okay? That's what's coming. But that's what was happening to us when we were taken from our lands and we were forced over here to America, Babylon the Great. But it's about to play out again. We're going to be wishing to be out of Jacob's trouble, you know? But at the same time, us men, the hopeful elect, Lord willing, we probably be elect, will be the ones that'll say, hey, nah, we want to go through this. You know, it's part of our punishment. We deserve to go through this and see these things. So we got to see these things to be saved. So it says in Acts 14:22 that we must go through much tribulation. Isaiah 21:4, we just got to pray that he gives us the spirit to endure it. Isaiah 21, verse 4. And it reads, my heart pained, fearfulness affrighted me. The night of my pleasure have turned into fear unto me. Prepare the table. What's the table? This truth. Watch in the watchtower. Eat, drink, arise, ye princes, and anoint the shield. But thus saith the Lord Yahawashi said unto me, go and set forth a watchman. Let him declare what he seeth. And if we're going to be watchmen, we have to be declaring, hey, we're seeing these terrible things that are happening around us. But it said 1,000 shall fall by thy side, but no fear shall come nigh thee. So we got to have that faith that nothing's going to touch us as long as we stay in the presence of Yahawashi. And we're gonna, and, you know, you can't make it through training, which is right now. Now you gonna make it through Jacob's trouble. We got to be able to see the terrorists, because you know you got some of our people who are like, we don't watch the news, we don't do all that because there's just so much wickedness going on. But we trying to show that, hey, we're supposed to be watching this stuff because this is righteous judgment to Yahawashi. This is Lamentations chapter 5, verse 5. Our necks are under persecution. I gotta go to the plantation in 2 hours. We labor and have no rest. Why we have no rest? Because we go just over there to go work, just to come back and work for Yahawashi. Because this is the work that matters. We go just work over there just to be able to do this work, you know? And, you know, that's why I have that spirit of tell America, Babylon the Great, thanks for nothing, motherfucker. Because we're not going to remember you, motherfuckers. We're not going to remember this place, you know? And it says in the scriptures. But, you know, that I don't want to get off topic. We're going to get into that another day, Lord willing. So Psalms 89, verse 14. And it reads, justice and judgment are the habitation of thy throne. Mercy and truth shall go before thy face. So everywhere you look, everywhere you go around, justice and judgment is your habitation. That's the Lord. Whatever's going on with you, or whatever's happening around you, it's got to do with his judgment, his justice, and judgment. We want to be on his justice side where he's giving us mercy, because Romans chapter 6, it said the wages is in chapter 6, it said the wages of sin are death. So we all deserve death. But he said, through, you know, if we do what he says do, we shall be forgiven and get grace. So we want to be on his side of judgment of mercy. Verse 15, blessed is the people that know the joyful sound. What's that? The song of Moses that he sang with Hosea the son of Nun in Deuteronomy chapter 32 about the name of Yahawashi. They shall walk, O Lord, Yahawashi, in the light of thy countenance. In thy name shall they rejoice in all the day. And in thy righteousness shall they be exalted. Lord, will be part of that number. For thou art the glory of their strength. And in thy favor, our horn shall be exalted. And that horn means power. You know, that'll be our power. You know, we're going to be exalted through the name of Yahawashi. That's why we're exalting him now. We want to see him be exalted because he died for us to be joint heirs with him. And the ones that believe that were back then doing the same thing, coming and adding, you know, to his exaltation, to be exalted, because he wasn't exalted last time. This is Luke chapter 12, verse 25. And which of you, with taking thought, can add to his structure 1 cubit? You're going to look this up in the NLT. Need a little bit more understanding. Luke chapter 12, verse 25. Can all your worries add a single moment to your life? So why are we worrying? Why are we worrying about what's going to happen? What we need to be worrying about is if we pleasing Bahasham and Yahawashi. That's it. That's it. We don't need to worry about nothing else. If we do that, hey, how can we go off? How can we be led astray? The Lord knows. We're coming to that truth. So this is Philippians chapter 4, verse 6. Okay? And it reads, be careful for nothing, but in everything by prayer and supplication with thanksgiving, let your request be made known unto power, which is Yahawah. And the peace of power, which is Yahawah, which passeth all understanding, shall keep your hearts. And when you look at the word heart, it means load, okay, which means your mind, and minds through Mashiach, which is Christ in Paleo Hebrew, Yahawashi. So he keeps our minds. We don't even keep our own minds. He's the one who keeps us, you know, and we wholly believe that. We know that he's taking care of us. That's why, what you worried about? The power of the universe is controlling your movements. You know, he's the master chess player. You think you're doing what you want to do? No, the Lord's making you do what you know. He's making you do what he wants you to do. So this is why we want to cast off all iniquity. Isaiah chapter 48, verse 22. There is no peace, saith the Lord, Yahawashi, unto the wicked. And how do we get peace? Through this doctrine. And you see them people out there in France, they all over the place. They screaming and going crazy and burning stuff, and because they don't have that peace of the truth of Yahawashi. Isaiah 59, verse 8. And it reads, the way of peace they know not, and there is no judgment in their goings. They have made them crooked paths. Whosoever goeth therein shall not know peace. Okay, and we're spiritual warriors fighting for peace. These people don't know what peace is. They don't understand the ways of Yahawashi and Yahawashi. So they out there just doing whatever they think is righteous when it's really wicked. So second Esdras, he talks about how they ride in the daytime. You know, they ain't supposed to do that. We ain't supposed to be doing that. We're supposed to be warriors of peace. We're supposed to be bringing peace to people with this truth. You know what I'm saying? So this is second Esdras chapter 15, verse 17. And it reads, okay, because you remember how I said China's not letting people leave. They're not even letting people leave China. And it's been like that for the last 5 years over there, damn near. Okay? So second Esdras chapter 15, verse 17. This is coming to America, Babylon the Great. It says, a man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. What's that sound like here? Martial law. We ain't going to be able to go into other cities. So the cities that we're in, we need to make sure that we're going to the people that's surrounding those cities and saying, hey, repent and convert. The kingdom of heaven is at hand. And if they do repent and convert and come to the truth, then that means that ultimately the Lord wanted them to come there to be ready for this time. But you couldn't go wherever you wanted to go. But you know, most of us, that's Jake, we already slaves and we can't go where we go. Especially some of us who is in the court system. You know, he said I was found often in prisons, often in long suffering, often in perils. You know, so you don't want to just look at somebody and just be like, oh, the Lord ain't dealing with them. How do you know? You got to test the spirits. You got to be with long suffering, or the Lord is not even with you. This is second Esdras chapter 3, verse 9. And it reads, and again in process of time, thou broughtest the flood upon those that dwelt in the world and destroyest them. See, you brought that flood. You brought that flood and destroyed them. And they wasn't paying attention. They wasn't looking towards you. Because at that time, it talks about how there was only dew. In Genesis, it talks about there was only dew that came out of the ground. There was no rain at that time. So he was trying to tell them. He was trying to tell them through that process of time that, hey, this is coming, but they didn't want to listen. Just like now, the prophets are telling you in the process of time that this is going to happen, and they don't want to listen. 2/3 of our people don't want to listen because inevitably, we don't care about the other 17 nations. It was written for them not to listen. But we're supposed to speak to the lost sheep of Israel, which is the ones that look like they're the 2/3. They walking around dead, but they're meant to be breathing life again off the Lord's time through that process. That's why we got to keep doing it repetitively, because that's what's going to, you know, we're feeding them medicine. Eventually that medicine is going to take effect. So 2nd Esdras, you know, 9 verse 3, you know, and it's medicine for us too. Every time we read it, it strengthens our faith. And it reads, therefore, there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars in the people in the world. It's like over there. Then thou shalt well understand that the Most High spake of those things. What's that? Everything that's come to America, Babylon the Great, in the four corners of the earth, from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning. What's that? Esau, Edom, buckethead ass going into slavery. And that's why they scared. Just want to make me pull this up. Hold on. Yeah, this is what I want right here. Where is it? That's a good one, but I want to do this one. Yeah. Call on Yahawashi shot. Because Pharaoh right now is a so-called white man. Okay? So this is Jeremiah chapter 50, verse 43. And it reads, and the king of Babylon have heard the report of them, and his hands waxed feeble. Anguish took hold of him, and pangs as a woman in travail. That's what Amalek doing. The first descendants, the Rawchaa, them rich motherfuckers, they over there seeing all of us out here teach the word of Yahawashi, the believers, you know, who cling to the body of great millstone, because we believe that they're basically the governing body of Yahawashi. If you don't believe that, then okay, whatever, you're gonna find out. So you know, I'm not swaying with my belief, Lord willing. I'm not swaying. I do a no wavering prayer every day to the Lord, you know, to make sure that I don't fall out of this thing, you know, and not let alone we do that and then we go do the work. We ask the Lord for strength. And what happens when you ask for strength? He's gonna put you in a situation that you're gonna require strength. You know, we gotta be ready for that. So, you know, we're gonna get through all that. Now we're gonna go over here. AI Godfather Jeffrey Hinton warns of daughters as he quits Google. Or dangers, Salakia, of dangers as he quits Google. So he's warning the dangers of AI. Okay, and he's the Godfather. So what's that Godfather? What's that? The ones that started this thing. Okay, but we know Yahawashi ultimately started it. But he put this devil in the forefront of it. You know, he came up to Satan one day and commanded him and said, go to this Edomite and make him do this. So he's doing it. So let's see what he got to say about it after he done quit. And he's over there with the other whistleblowers, with the ones that are making their own tongue fall upon themselves. You know? So let's see what he got to say.
It's one of those things where there's no way that people weren't going to explore it. The issue is now that we've discovered it works better than we expected a few years ago. What do we do to mitigate the long-term risks of things more intelligent than us taking control?
Let's talk about those risks, because you said that you're worried about bad actors. What worries you the most about what could be used with this technology?
So there's a lot of things that a lot of other people have talked about to do with being able to produce lots of text automatically so you can get lots of very effective spam bots. It'll allow authoritarian leaders to manipulate their electorates, things like that. I'm not really talking about those. There's another particular thing I want to talk about, which is the existential risk of what happens when these things get more intelligent than us. So quite recently, I come to the conclusion that the kind of intelligence we're developing is very different from the intelligence we have. We're biological systems, and these are digital systems. And the big difference is that with digital systems, you have many copies of the same set of weights, the same model of the world. And all these copies can learn separately, but share their knowledge instantly. So it's as if you had 10,000 people, and whenever one person learned something, everybody automatically knew it. And that's how these chaps can know so much more than any one person.
You see what I'm saying?
It's one of those
now
things
look,
no
this is the example.
Explore.
This is the example that he's bringing out right here. This is what he's talking about. Okay? This is what he's talking about, how they can all just know what the fuck's going on real quick.
Give me a tongue twister in Japanese, please, and say it twice.
He said, give me a tongue twister in Japanese and say it twice. And watch what this thing does. Okay? Hold on. It's a lock here.
しめしめしながら針を投げる試験官。しめしめしながら針を投げる試験官。
Now tell me what that means in English, please.
A test tube that throws a needle while grumbling.
And what would that be if you translated it to German?
Ein Teströhrchen, das eine Nadel wirft und leise brummt.
And you see back there? You see back there? You see that guy who just looks like he's back there?
À Paris, il fait plutôt nuageux.
Look.
Il est favorable pour sortir.
There's a guy back there.
La température est comprise entre 13 et 14 degrés.
That's a fucking robot, man. That looks like a person. Okay? That's what they're gonna make these motherfuckers look like. They're gonna make them look like they're fucking humans. Okay? They're gonna look like that. That thing is not moving back there, man. And they're gonna have them where they can talk all different languages and shit and have them working in the workplace. Okay? And they're gonna all be able to be like, because you know how the body of a Mashiach works. We all listen to each other videos and get tapped in and learn. But these things is gonna be like, as soon as they learn something, all the rest of them are gonna be like, yep, we get it. That's scary.
Favorable pour sortir. La température est comprise entre 13 et 14 degrés. Today in the USA, it's mostly cloudy and temperatures are in the mid-60s.
Thank you very much, Amika. You can go back to being an English robot now.
Of course, it was a pleasure talking to you.
Hey, you didn't go back to being English. Use your British accent.
My apologies. Let me try again. It was a pleasure talking to you.
You hear that? Literally use the British, change to a British accent, okay? Change to a British accent instead of an American accent. So it can change accents, okay? That's not something to play with, man. And they talking about they gonna make these AI robots take over everything so they can make more money. Man, them things gonna figure out how to take over shit real quick, okay? But this is all part of the plan because Yahawashi is gonna be controlling. So that's just something I wanted to put out there. We're gonna pull up some precepts. We're gonna do Isaiah chapter 24, verse 3. They don't get it, man. Lord got these motherfuckers in the trick bag. Think they know what they doing. Some of them Edomites starting to figure out, hey, we going off. We going a little bit too far. But they know they don't got no other choice but to. Why? Because they know Yahawashi come back to fuck their ass up. Isaiah chapter 24, verse 3, and it reads, the land shall be utterly empty and utterly spoiled. For the Lord, Yahawashi has spoken this word. It's going to come to naught. Everything is going to be desolate here. Okay, other than the elect. Verse 4, the earth mourneth and fadeth away. The world languisheth and fadeth away. The haughty people of the earth do languish. Verse 5, the earth is also defiled under the inhabitants thereof, because they have transgressed the laws, changed the ordinance, broken the everlasting covenant. When you do that to Yahawashi, you're going to be utterly taken out. Period. Period. This place is going to come to naught. You got people out here talking about, well, it's not going to all get destroyed. Well, we're going to find out. Luke chapter 21, verse 36. And that whole time they sit here worried about us saying a couple cuss words. Well, you're going to realize that that was not what you're supposed to be worried about. So this is Luke chapter 21, verse 36. And it reads, watch ye therefore, and pray always, that ye may be accounted worthy. See, we got to be accounted. What's accounted? What's accountants? What's accountants? Being accountable for your work. Getting in here and doing the work constantly. We have to be accountable for what we do. Worthy to escape. And it already said the wages of sin is death. So how worthy are we to escape all these things that shall come to pass and to stand before the Son of Man, which is Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi? How much we got to do? We got to do everything we can do to stand. Hold on, let me pull that up. That's the spirit. Hold on. Yeah, that's the spirit right there. Ephesians chapter 6, verse 13, and it reads, wherefore take unto you the whole armor of power, that ye may be able to withstand in the evil day. What's that? Jacob's trouble. And it ain't gonna just be, you know, because it said 1,000 years is the day of the Lord, and the day of the Lord is 1,000 years. So it could be, we don't know how long that evil day gonna be. We don't know. And having done all to stand. We'll do everything we can do to stand in this time. Man. We don't know how long it's gonna be. 2 Corinthians chapter 4, verse 1. I'm not saying it's going to take 1,000 years, because he said he's going to shorten the time. And he said he's going to make this place desolate in 1 hour. And he made it to where it's like, you can't pinpoint this. Even Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, even Yahawashi said, I don't even know. My Father knows. You know, the time. You know? So this is 2 Corinthians chapter 4, verse 1. Hold on, Salakia. I know what's wrong. You can't put the ND on it in this thing. Oh, never mind. Hold on. Must be spelling something wrong. Okay, see, that was right. Okay. So Salakia. Time back then, I probably typed it in wrong. It was just algorithm in there. 2 Corinthians chapter 4, verse 1, and it reads, therefore, seeing we have this ministry, we have received mercy. See, we're looking for mercy. And what's the start of it? Receiving this truth from the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. We faint not. Verse 2, but have renounced the hidden things of dishonesty, not walking in craftiness, nor handling the word of Yahawah deceitfully, and that's what the churches do, but by manifestation, and the mother camps, of the truth, commending themselves to every man's conscience in the sight of Tower, which is Yahawah. But if our gospel be hid, what? It is hidden to them that are lost. Verse 4, in whom the power, not power, because this is God with a smaller g, so that's talking about Esau, even the so-called white man. So in whom the God of this world have blinded the minds of them which believe not, lest the light of the glorious gospel of the Matial, which is Christ in Paleo-Hebrew, which means anointed, who is the image of power, should shine unto them. See? So the image of the power is what? You know, the tribe of Judah, the Judites, the so-called Negroes. And that's not shine known to 2/3 of our people. They think that they're getting all their blessings from a so-called white man. And then some of them even be like, I listen to some of our people, 2/3 be like, he's not white, he's olive colored. The fuck is olive colored, man? The hell are you talking about? There ain't even, they invented black and white in the 1680s, okay? But you talking about olive color. Who out here go to their job and put on their doggone motherfucking, their resume that they olive color? You bugged out, man. Matthew chapter 24, verse 12, and it reads, and because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold. See? And that's what they doing. They waxing cold, talking about they lower olive color. Like, you bugged out, man. Okay? I ain't mad at you, but it's just like, to the ones that can see, they can see. They bugged out. Don't listen to them people. Don't talk to them people. And I look at it like, hey, dude, yo, better than you than me acting like that. Because, I slap my damn self in the forehead if I ever thought like that. Lord willing, if he allowed me to. Matthew chapter 24, verse 37, and it reads, but as the days of Noah, because I said that's basically Noah, were, so shall be the Son of Man be. So shall also the coming of the Son of Man be. Which is what? They didn't know that the flood was coming. They didn't know what was happening. They was marrying and drinking under wine and building and talking about they was going to be everything and they was going to dwell forever, and they got drowned. So Isaiah chapter 2 verse 4, this time they're going to be set on fire. It's the same people. That's why they're doing the same thing. And it reads, and he shall judge among the nations and shall rebuke many people. This is what's going to happen after all this happens. After all this happens and after the slavery and everything, this is just before the slavery. They're going to go up to the mountain. Okay, he shall judge among the nations, shall rebuke many people. They shall beat their swords in the plowshares. So right now, you got them in Joel chapter 3, verse 9 to 10, beating their plowshares and the swords for the war. But after this all happens and the Lord takes over everything, he's going to have them beat their swords in the plowshares and their spears in the pruning hooks. Why? They are going into slavery. Nation shall not lift up sword against nation, neither shall they learn war anymore. And that's what's coming to these heathens. Okay? After they try to do their little AI Godfather, people talking about, hey, this is going to be a bad deal. And they know it is. They don't got a choice. Why? Because Revelation 17:17, Lord's going to make them do it. So this is Federal Reserve will likely hike interest rates again, signal a pause in inflation fight. So we're going to watch a little bit of this, which is precepts.
We think change is overrated.
Is that why we still have an 8-track player?
Hey, honey, say hi to your grandpa. He just had his hip replaced.
Hello? Why would you change hips?
Don't be a holdover. Switch to Champion Energy for fair prices and no hidden fees.
Is this a new recipe?
No.
Block here for the infomercial.
Inflation has been moderating in recent months. The process of getting inflation back down to 2% has a long way to go. It is likely to be bumpy. As I mentioned, the latest economic data have come in stronger than expected, which suggests that the ultimate level of interest rates is likely to be higher than previously anticipated. If the totality of the data were to indicate that faster tightening is warranted, we'd be prepared to increase the pace of rate hikes. Restoring price stability will likely require that we maintain a restrictive stance of monetary policy for some time. Our overarching focus is using our tools to bring inflation back down to our 2% goal and to keep longer-term inflation expectations well anchored. Restoring price stability is essential to set the stage for achieving maximum employment and stable prices over the longer run. The historical record cautions strongly against prematurely loosening policy. We will stay the course until the job is done.
See, these pink boys scared, man. They terrified, okay? Because they know there ain't nothing they can do. They're screwed. Everything has been exponentially faster than what they are expecting. Why? Because the Lord's speeding up the times. Now, this is just to kind of bring up kind of how America Babylon the Great is following the same customs as Rome. That's how we know that the beast is basically the revived Roman Empire. So it's Luke chapter 2, verse 1. And it came to pass in those days. What's those days? In the days when it talks about Second Esdras, chapter 11, when it talks about how the Roman Empire took over the earth, okay, the known earth. And it talks about those empires was 12 feathers. And those feathers, one of them, the second feather was Caesar Augustus. And one of those feathers was also Julius Caesar. And he was also reincarnated back at that time again. But that's another deeper situation we ain't going to even get into. So Luke chapter 2, verse 1, and it reads, and it came to pass in those days that there went out a decree from Caesar Augustus that all the world should be taxed. And see, that's what they're doing. They're raising taxes, doing all that because they ain't got no choice. Because they have tried to rebuild this same system and thought it was going to survive, even though they seen it crash, because, you know, it's the Lord doing it. So Revelations 13:15, and they're going to get to that point to where they're so desperate for it to work, it's going to come to death, you know, for some of our people who believe. But we're ready to die for Yahawashi. Revelation chapter 13, verse 15, and it reads, he had power to give life unto the image of the beast. What's the image? That barcode with the 3 6s on it, you know, the likeness of this place, to be able to be a digital slave to Esau, Edom. There's some people who like that. That's why they're doing it. That the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. And the beast is United Nations in the EU, you know, those European nations that there's 7 heads, 7 crowns, and 7 heads and 10 crowns and 7 heads and 10 horns, 7 crowns and 10 horns, who are worshiping the beast. Okay, so that's them. They finna get took out, you know. So now we're gonna go to this next video, just about done. Denmark to make 250 million inflation donation to Ukraine for military use. So now Denmark is siding with the donation of Ukraine to military. So this is the Lord doing this to the heathens. That's what he's doing. This is Joel chapter 3, verse 11. And it reads, assemble yourselves and come, all ye heathen, and gather yourselves together around about. Thither cause thy mighty ones to come down, O Lord, Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi. Let the heathen be wakened and come up to the valley of Jehoshaphat. And that means Yahawah has judged. Okay, that's that valley. There I will sit to judge all the heathen round about for all the things that they've done. All the things that they have done, what's going to bring this, you know? So this is Matthew 13:17. Salakia. And it reads, for verily I say unto you that many prophets and righteous men have desired to see those things which ye see, okay, and not seen them. Who's that? Abraham. He was hoping to see he was wanting to see his kids be delivered, and also other righteous men, okay? And to hear those things which ye hear and have not heard them. Why? Because there had to be a certain time of falling away. But what we don't understand, you know, and what we do understand, what 2/3 don't understand is those same people are back getting a part of this to see it. And it's still a wonder to us, because why? Because Ecclesiastes chapter 1, verse 9, we won't remember the things that have happened. Hold on, let me go and pull it up. This is Ecclesiastes chapter 1, verse 9. The thing that had been, it is what shall be, So the prophets of back then wanting to see these things, didn't get to see them. The Lord promised them that they would see them, and they're gonna come back, which is right now. And that which is done is that which shall be done, and there is no new thing under the sun. See? So they're getting to see the fall of their enemies and not even remember that they were there. But we hope to be those men, you know, that are getting to see what we thought we'd never would see. So this is Luke chapter 10, verse 24. And it reads, "For I tell you that many prophets and kings have desired to see those things which ye see." What's that? The fall of our enemies, and have not seen them, and to hear those things which ye hear and have not heard them. See, they died with that truth. Okay? And this is verse 25, "And behold, a certain lawyer looked up and tempted him, saying, Master, what shall we do to inherit eternal life? And he said unto you, What is written in the law? How readest thou? And he answered and said, Thou shalt love the Lord thy power with all thine heart, which is your mind, and with all thine soul, and with all thy strength, and with all thine mind, and thy neighbor as thyself." So first of all, you got to forgive yourself and love yourself. And that's Yahawah Rawchaa to forgive you, and then forgive anybody who's trespassed against you. If you want to be received in this truth, you know, you want to be received by Yahawah Rawchaa. We're doing this for his name. Just like he said he would do it for his own sake to save us. See what I'm saying? Now we're gonna go over here. We got a little bit more and then I'm done. So this is explosion in Russian border region derails freight train. So another train derailment. Just something to bring up, you know, just to show that we are not ignorant of Satan's devices. And he also did this. He said, like, you know, where you just got to just random explosion on a train, like, don't make no sense. That don't make no sense. But we know that Esau Edom is up to something. This is Psalms chapter 64, verse 5, and it reads, "They encourage themselves in an evil manner. They commune of laying snares privately. They say, Who shall see them?" So they think that they're not being spotted for the evilness and wickedness that they're doing. But they are. We know that they're up to something. We know that they're up to something, you know? So this is 5 dead in Texas shooting, armed suspect on the loose, okay? We're gonna watch a little bit of this.
The party.
Oh, it's an ad. Salakia. Give it a second. Come on now. Where'd it go? I'm not sure where it went. Salakia. Bear with me. Well, just talk about the youngest of those killed were 8 years old with 2 female victims found on top of 2 surviving children, reports said, citing authorities. So it was a very gruesome situation, you know. It was not a good thing. Oh, here it is. Give me a second.
मेरी पार्टी
Man, are you kidding me? All right, bear with me on the article. Doing this thing. Dang, man. Hold on.
है कि आप इस्तीफा दे दो तो मुझे कोई विलम्ब नहीं लगेगा, मैं इस्तीफा दे दूंगा। आज जितने आप कह सकते हैं जैसे टुकड़े टुकड़े गैंग या जो ताकतें शाहीन दरियाब में सक्रिय थी, जो ताकतें किसान आंदोलन में सक्रिय थी, जो हमेशा समय समय पर मोदी जी पर हमला किया करते हैं,
I'm not sure what it is, but you know, I don't know why it keeps doing that. Yeah, we're just gonna leave it out. So it's a lock here. You know, that's what's going on over there. And, go over here. Says 7 bodies found amid search of missing teens. This is in Oklahoma. This is yesterday.
1,500 hours. We arrived out here with approximately at 1,500 hours. We arrived out here with a search warrant. We searched the property and we've located 7 bodies that we are in the process of trying to get the ME to be able to confirm identities of these individuals that were found. We're not going to discuss any facts of the case or anything like that, but we are no longer looking. We believe to have found everything that we were seeking this morning. Our hearts go out to the families and friends, schoolmates, and everyone else, and it's just a tragedy. We believe that we have found the persons. We just are waiting for confirmation. Yes, but again, we cannot confirm anybody until the ME's office comes back and confirms all of them. Approximately.
See, there's some wickedness that be going out here, man. American Babylon the Great got to pay for this shit, man. There's some wickedness that people be doing, man. This place got to come to naught, man. This place got to be destroyed. Okay, we don't need to be dwelling here. This place is wicked, man. We need to get the fuck out of here. Ecclesiasticus 39, verse 28. And it reads, there be spirits that are created for vengeance. You see, whatever those women were, they didn't die innocent. The Lord had put vengeance on them. They probably weren't some good people in the past, you know? And that's what people don't understand. So, which in their fury lay on sore strokes in the time of destruction, they pour out their force and appease the wrath of him that made him. That's the wrath of Yahawashi. He ain't playing, man. People want to be all poor me. We told your ass stop playing around with Yahawashi, man. Stop playing with the Lord. Repent and convert. Okay? This is what we got to do. This is Isaiah chapter 32, verse 9. Rise up, ye women that are at ease. Hear my voice, ye careless daughters. Give ear to my speech. You have to be careless. Be going off some bug out motherfucker like that and getting killed, man. You didn't have to go through that. But since you didn't want to listen to Yahawashi, put the spirit on you to get caught up in that situation. Verse 10, and it reads, many days and years shall ye be troubled, ye careless women, for the vintage shall fail. The gathering shall not come. Tremble, ye women that are at ease, be troubled, ye careless ones. strip you and make you bare and gird sackcloth upon your loins. And that's what he did. He made them women bare. They don't got no life. They shall lament for the teats. The ones who are getting government assistance and housing ain't gonna get it no more. For the pleasant fields, for the fruitful vine, upon the land of my people shall come up thorns and briars, yea, on all the houses of joy in the joyous city. And that's his place. You know? You know, so that's some stuff that's going on. This is Deuteronomy chapter 29, verse 29. And it reads, the secret things that belong unto the Lord are power, Yahawah, Bahasham, Rawchaa. Okay? But those things which are revealed belong unto us and unto our children forever, that we may do all the words of this law. See? We were reminded to be able to do this. Okay? He bring us that because we didn't know nothing. We still be in the world like 2/3. Acting like beasts. He said we were wild beasts. This is John chapter 4, verse 38, and it reads, I sent you to reap that whereon ye bestowed no labor. Other man labored, and ye are entered into their labors. And Lord willing, we are entering into our own labors. And we are those men you speak of. You know, starting with the elders and apostles of the great millstone on down. 1 John chapter 2, verse 18. And it reads, little children, it is the last time, and as ye have heard, that anti-Mashiach shall come. Even now there are many anti-Mashiachs, whereby we know it is the last time. That's how we know. You see what I'm saying? Anti-Mashiach is basically anybody who's against the doctrine, anybody who's not coming to this truth. You are antichrist. Okay? Anti-Mashiach. 2 John chapter 1, verse 7. Okay, this stuff is plain to the righteous, man. And it reads, for many deceivers are entered into the world, who confess not that Yahawashi Mashiach is come in the flesh. This is a deceiver and an antichrist, anti-Mashiach. We can't get mad at these people. Why? First Corinthians 11:19, and it reads, there must be also heresies among you, that they which are approved may be made manifest unto you. And who's that? The elect. And it said, no enchantment shall work against Jacob. So you might have these other camps out here doing stuff like ISUPK doing their fashion show and stuff. The elect is going to be like, nah, something's going off on that. Fuck that. You see what I'm saying? You know, at some point they're going to be like, no, whenever the Lord says to. Some are faster than others. Depends on their lot. 1 John chapter 2, verse 22. And it reads, who is a liar but he that denieth that Yahawashi is the Mashiach, which is the anointed one? He is anti-Mashiach, anti-Christ, that denieth the Father and the Son. Okay? And there's many of those. Why? Because these so-called Edomites, or not Edomites, so-called white man, which is the Edomites, the Idumeans, okay, revived Roman Empire, they think that so-called Jesus, they think that Jesus Christ is, you know, their savior. You know, and got 2/3 of our people thinking that they're the savior. Mark 13:21, and it reads, Shalakia, and it reads, and then if any man shall say unto you, lo, there is a Mashiach, or lo, he is there, believe him not. See, we're not saying that he's here. We're saying that his spirit is in us. He's come back. For false Mashiachs, for false Mashiachs shall rise, and false prophets shall rise. Shall show signs and wonders to seduce, if it were possible, even the elect. And they cannot deceive the elect. We're not taking your bull biggity. Lord, when we call that number, 1 Corinthians, the hopeful elect ain't even taking it. How much more for the elect? Remember, they may be. They ain't taking that bullshit. 1 Corinthians chapter 2, verse 5. And it reads, let's read back to 4. And my speech and my preaching was not with enticing words of man's wisdom, but in demonstration of the Spirit and of power. Verse 5, that your faith should not stand in the wisdom of men, but the power of Yahawah. That's where we get our faith from. That's where we get our spirit from. That's where we get our knowledge from. We get it all from Yahawah, Bahasham, Rawchaa. This is not our doctrine. We just believe and we follow and do what he says, just like we did last time. Lord willing. Tobit chapter 4, verse 19. And 2 more precepts from the close out. So Tobit chapter 4, verse 19, and it reads, bless the Lord thy power always, and desire of him that always may be directed, and that all thy paths and counsels may prosper. See, talking about the counsels, okay? The counsels of Great Millstone, okay? That's their counsel. That's the Lord's counsel. For every nation has not counsel. See? But the Lord, Yahawashi himself, giveth all good things, and he humbleth whom he will. He's got to humble you as he will. Now, therefore, my son, remember my commandments, neither let them be put out of thy mind. See? He decides who gets the commandments and don't put them out of their mind. We don't. We're just glad he did it to us. And Lord willing, he allows us to keep doing it. Verse 20, and it reads, and now I signify this to they, that I commend 10 talents of Gabriel, the son of Gabrias, and Regis and Matial. Okay? And that's what he did. He signified this truth to us. So Micah chapter 7, verse 9. We're going to close out. So, and also the water for everybody who's tuned in, coming in at the time when they get the chance to, and then, the ones that are seeking Yahawashi Yahawashi new, calling Yahawashi Yahawashi, Bahasham, Qadash, Barak, Atham. This is verse 9, and it reads, I will bear the indignation of the Lord because I have sinned against him. Until he plead my cause and execute judgment for me, he will bring me forth to the light, which is through this truth, and I shall behold his righteousness, no matter what he does. Verse 10, and it reads, then she that is mine enemy shall see it. Who's that? Mainly the Judite woman, but some of them are not doing that. And shame shall cover her, who said unto me, where is thy Lord, thy power, Yahawah? That's what a lot of them do. Mine eyes shall behold her, now she shall be trodden down as the mire of the streets. So that's what I got today. And those 7 women that got murdered, they were ultimately enemies to the Lord at some point. But we've all been enemies to the Lord at some point. But he's going to have grace to his elect. So Lord, when we call that number. So Shalom to the elect of Israel, to the hopeful elect of Israel, you Hebrew Israelites, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native American, West Indian Haitians, and the foreign Israelites that are scattered across the 4 corners of the earth. Got to give all praises to Barak, Yahawah, Barak, Yahawashi, Barak, Yahawah, Barak, Yahawashi. Got to give all praises to Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham, Qadash. We give double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, led me to this truth, has been ordained by the Lord to teach the flock how to live, repent, pray, fast, Show forth the Lord's righteousness and mercy, judgment, forgiveness, and wrath to all those who are part of the elect, and to whomever be a hopeful elect, or the elect may be into the hopeful elect. Lord willing, we be part of that number. Lord willing, us be edifying to those who fear in the name of the Lord and striving to show forth the Lord's righteousness every day to the best of their abilities. His judgment always comes to light. Zephaniah chapter 3, verse 5, and it's not slack. 2 Peter chapter 3, verse 9. So wah abab abal. Shalom.